Can you help me? I'm looking for a man.
A man?
No way. Really? I thought this happened at the end of the film.
Because they can dream of truth, but cannot live with it. The others, find them and tell them not to doubt.
Who are you?
My name is Judas.
Oh, it's as good as I thought it was gonna be. Hey people, how's it going? Welcome to the Funhouse, and we are back again with another movie reaction commentary. And today we're gonna be watching The Robe. So this year I thought I'd do something a little bit different by watching a sword and sandals flick. But it had to have biblical themes and relate to the birth of Jesus. Now I know a little bit about this film. I know it stars Richard Bad Boy Burton. And yes, I have seen Villain, in which he plays an absolute savage.
Who are you looking at?
And I absolutely have seen The Spy Who Came In From the Cold. In fact, the latter was one of the films I watched for inspiration when I wrote and directed my short spy film, The Masters, which is on Patreon. It was that film and The Ipcris Files. Just become a free member on Patreon to gain access. I'm also aware of a scene from this film because it was sampled by a hip-hop artist called Killer Priest, who is an affiliate of the Wu-Tang Clan. I tracked down the scene and finally found it on YouTube because I've always wondered where the scene came from. Over time I just decided to do a reaction for the channel to experience the scene in its full context. So I'm excited to get into this one. If you'd like to support the channel, check out the YouTube store and Patreon if you're interested in my written work. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, so The Robe, we've started. Loving the epic sound right now. There it is, The Robe. Okay, Richard Burton. Gene Simmons. I've heard that name before, but I'm not sure of what I've seen them in or what they're related to. Gene Simmons. Okay, here we go.
Rome, master of the earth. We have reached the point where there are more slaves in Rome than citizens.
Wow.
We are only looters of what others have created. But we have made gods, fine gods and goddesses, who make love and war. We, the nobles of Rome, are free to live only for our own pleasure. Will any god offer us more?
See that bit where he said, can a god offer us more? That's a reference to Jesus, I think. Here he is, Richard Burton.
A dancer, a companion for a noble lady or a noble gentleman. A musician from Egypt.
So I'm quite impressed by this because this is actually addressing the debauchery that was in Rome that we don't get taught about. So that was interesting.
High young and train them yourself. Children grow into men and women. These gods grow strong. Buy
Wow.
mother and child from Syria. Buy them together. Buy them separately.
Wow, I'm really impressed by this. Because this is showing that people love to focus on America and the sins of America, but America isn't new. What happened in America isn't new. And I love how this is depicting that even in this ancient world. Is this Barabbas?
Thank you, Tribune.
A tribune.
Put him up as a gladiator. Never mind the price.
But Cleander, you can't. He's worth at least 1,000 pieces of gold.
Okay, no, it's not Barabbas.
It's good to see you, Marcellus.
Marcellus. Obviously, I'm thinking of Marcellus Wallace, Pulp Fiction.
What promise?
To marry me?
Was I drunk? Diana. Where have your freckles gone?
I lost them.
Oh, I loved every one of them.
Then I'm sorry I lost them.
Caligula, a debaucherous man.
Buying today or looking for amusement?
Buying, I hope, sire. A pair of twins.
Male or female?
Wow, he had to ask. That's how Caligula gets down.
Don't lose them, Gallio.
1,500.
Marcellus, are you my friend or aren't you?
Not to this extent. 2,000.
Not to this extent.
You bid against me?
Against Tribune Quintus.
800!
900.
1,000!
3,000.
Whoa. Okay. Wow, so he showed him up in front of everybody. I wonder why he took a liking to this guy.
What's your name?
Demetrius. From Corinth.
Corinth. That's another debaucherous place.
To be a slave in this household is an honor.
To be a slave anywhere is to be a dog.
Ooh.
You could have run away. Why didn't you?
I owe you a debt, sir. I paid my debts.
Not a slave's reason. More like a Roman's.
A Greek, sir.
In the great days of Greece, we Romans were no more than barbarians. Have Marsuppo show you where I keep my clothes. I'll change before dinner.
Yes, sir.
I'm liking the pace of Richard Burton's dialogue delivery. Quite quick. It's quite quick. And distinctive.
Are you deliberately trying to cut the ground from under my feet? I lead the senators who oppose him, and my son makes fun of him at private banquets and now humiliates him in public.
Oh, is this the guy from Witness for the Prosecution? Yeah, is he the guy who was the prosecutor in Witness for the Prosecution?
Give this to Tribune Gallio when he does come home. Well, aren't you going to read it? After dinner.
Marcellus is a menace.
It's from Caligula. The courage of a military tribune must not be squandered in the baths and banquet halls of Rome. You are ordered to the garrison at Jerusalem.
Jerusalem.
That is petty. Sending him to the front line.
Where's Jerusalem?
The worst pest hole in the empire.
I know I have disappointed you.
Try to endure it, Marcellus. Above all, be a Roman, my son. And be a man of honor.
Perhaps there'll be amusement in being a man of honor.
Yeah, this is going well. I like this.
Man the lines!
So I wonder how this is going to go then. What about Demetrius?
Careful with that, it's a wine.
Okay, he's there. Okay, that's Demetrius. Yeah, why is he taking a liking to him? That's interesting. Here we are. Jerusalem. See, this thing about these films, right? You had to literally get that many people, or at least hundreds of people, to create the illusions of thousands. But look, the real goats, real camels, look. That's crazy. Nicely designed set.
Messiah, what's that?
King, Savior, Redeemer. No one knows if he even exists. He is, but he isn't. He hasn't come yet, but he's coming.
There you go. There you go. So, Marcellus is actually a fish out of water.
Perhaps he's coming after all, the Messiah.
Look, there. Those people carrying palms. Man riding a white donkey.
Okay, so this is I'm getting Ben Hur vibes here, where you don't quite see his face. We'll see, but I like that. And so this is an important moment biblically when Jesus enters into Jerusalem. This is his procession, his kingship is acknowledged. So Demetrius, so yeah, what's going to happen with Demetrius?
Did you see him?
Who?
The man who just rode past. He stopped here and looked at me. He looked at my eyes. Only his eyes spoke.
Who is he, a general?
No,
A king?
he's...
Oh, gentlemen, please, I'm Caleb. Caleb, the wine merchant. Remember?
Oh, is that Helton from the setup?
Then you do recognize me.
That's
Percy Helton.
Tribune, what have you done?
That's cold, man.
Pilate's given orders to arrest that fanatic. We've got to find out where he holds up at night.
Oh, that is crazy. They're going to do the Gethsemane. The Garden of Gethsemane. The Garden of Gethsemane.
Demetrius, how much is left in the purse?
8 gold pieces and some silver, sir.
Give him the purse.
Okay, so he's tied into Judas.
Demetrius.
So now Demetrius is trying to run away, but it's to follow Christ. Okay, so it's more of a warning rather than him running away, is it?
I'm looking for the man called Jesus. The one they say is the Messiah.
I never heard of him.
Lies. Everyone knew him.
Can you help me? I'm looking for a man.
A man.
No way. Really? I thought this happened at the end of the film.
Why?
Because men are weak. Because they can dream of truth, but cannot live with it. Why must men betray themselves with doubts? The others, find them and tell them not to doubt. Even now, not to doubt.
Wait. Tell who? Who are you?
My name is Judas.
Oh, it's as good as I thought it was gonna be. I thought that was gonna happen much later on, like at the end of the film. So this is moving quite quickly.
What is it?
The governor wants you, drunk or sober. Come on, Pilot doesn't like to be kept waiting.
So I don't know how there's still quite a bit of time left in this film, so it's going to be interesting to see how this story plays out, because I thought that was going to be, it's going to be sprinkled throughout, and that moment there was going to be at the end, but it's happened right now.
You must have powerful friends at court. I have one task before you leave. It's routine.
Yes, sir.
An execution. I've had a miserable night. Factions, no one agreeing with anyone else. Even my wife had an opinion. I'm sorry to lose you.
Thank you, sir.
So is he, did I get that right? He's off the hook now, but just this one last thing before he goes. And I love how he said it's routine. It's routine to crucify. That was rough. Yeah, I love this approach. You're not seeing his face. And it's quite melodramatic. And he's wearing red, obviously, for the shedding of blood. Wow, Demetrius got taken out. Another distant shot here. You're not up close and personal. It's from the outside looking in. Okay, we do go up close and personal.
You, bring me that robe.
There it is. The robe.
Mine by right of possession. How much would you risk against it?
This is like a crescendo in this subplot. I actually like that play with the plot lines. The B story is actually more, it's more significant, more potent than the A story. It's almost like this, the B story is the engine rather than the A story being the engine.
Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
It got real.
I'll never serve you again, you Roman pig! Masters of the world, you call yourselves!
Wow.
A curse on you! A curse on your empire!
Wow, that was a really powerful moment. I love the rain as well. So now everything has changed. The status just changed. Demetrius rose in status and Marcellus declined. So if you saw, he was crumpled on the ground. Meanwhile, Demetrius stood. So Demetrius stood tall. He was in a better position than Marcellus. So that was quite a short part of the storyline. So I guess it's going to be about who he becomes after that encounter.
But my last examination proves that you'll live for 20 years at least.
Not 20, sir. 30. I read it only last night in the entrails of an owl.
In the entrails of an owl.
The entrails of an owl. You're welcome, Tribune.
Thank you, sire. I bring you dispatches from Pontius Pilate.
Why do... Hey, is that the judge from Witness for the Prosecution as well?
Nope. Plainly there was a curse on the robe. His only chance is to find it and destroy it.
Let me find it, sire. Destroy it, as he says.
Who knows what powers he left to these disciples? Magic formulas, potions. Beware.
Seek out the followers of this dead magician, no matter how much it costs or how long it takes.
Wow.
This is more dangerous than any spell your superstitious mind could dream of. It is man's desire to be free, and I have sent the most effective physician I could find to cure it. I have sent a madman.
Wow, I like that. So I'm liking the fact that it's going to be a search.
The Greek. What about the Greek?
He travels with one they call the Big Fisherman.
Fisherman?
Fisherman, that's all I know, but you'll find out the rest.
Peter, the Apostle Peter. Okay, so we might get to see the apostles in action. Really interesting take, man.
You say he could work miracles, but he left you as he found you.
I used to wonder at that myself. until faith taught me the answer. He'd left me as I am so that all others like me might know that their misfortune needn't deprive them of happiness within his kingdom.
Wow. This is pretty much conveying Christian principles in an actual positive light.
Simon the Galilean, the one Jesus called Peter.
Peter the Rock.
No, he has a companion, a Greek.
Where are they?
I'm surprised at this. I'm surprised that a Hollywood film, or was it a Hollywood film? A Hollywood film is conveying Christian principles so accurately.
Don't lose heart, Marcellus. The way is never easy, but it's a path good men must take.
Yeah, I love that scene. The fact that it was highlighted that even though she wasn't healed, she still had purpose. Oh, here he is.
Stand up in the presence of your master.
Oh no, he freed himself of you, bro.
There. Burn it.
I've ordered you to burn it!
I'll have you whipped through the streets of Jerusalem and sold as a galley slave. I'll teach you who's master here.
I know who my master is.
It was for your sake that he died. For the sake of all of us. Until now.
So the dynamics have changed, right? So Demetrius is the one with the authority. He's the one who's regal. Here come the apostles. I wonder if we'll see the Apostle Paul.
On that terrible night when he was betrayed, only Peter remained steadfast, loyal to the end.
No, he didn't.
Here to honor
Oh no! So they're even going to cover the persecution of Christians as well. Wow.
Well, Tribune, your new command?
Oh, this guy.
Tiberius is dead. Caligula is emperor. Hits you hard, doesn't it?
Oh no.
Make me obey, Tribune.
If I win, you'll keep your word? You withdraw your men?
They'll be yours to command. I'll be dead.
Oh yeah. A nice sword fight. Oh, he got him. Wow, that had weight. You see the spark? He's doing all right. He's not a bad fighter. He's got you. Got him.
Got him!
Finish it.
You may give that order now, Centurion.
That's even worse. That's even worse. He's understanding. I don't think it's over. I think this guy is going to hold a grudge. So he's learning the Christian principles.
The night Jesus needed me most, I denied him. 3 times.
I crucified him. And you can forgive me?
He forgave you from the cross. Can I do less?
That's good, man. That's powerful.
I offer him my sword, my fortune, and my life. And this I pledge you on my honor as a Roman.
Wow, it's conversion. I love shots like this because it's a combination of props and matte paintings. It's just such an old school flavor to it. Love it.
The Lady Diana, as beautiful as ever, and as cold. He must have written to you.
Not for almost a year.
Wow, it's been a year since he's communicated with her. Or is she lying?
You've heard of this new sect? These fanatics who call themselves Christians? Well, he's one of them. One of the ringleaders.
It can't be true.
No, I'll show you. Marcellus's personal slave, remember?
Oh, that's Demetrius.
Soon we'll have the others.
Where is he?
Give it. Enough for now. He's no good to us dead. Let him think about it for a while.
Wow.
Demetrius is here in the palace?
I saw him.
You're sure?
Is he a Christian as well?
You're one of them, a Christian.
Yes, my lady.
It's really cool how they're showing how Christians were actually underground it was an underground movement. In this case, they're literally underground.
You found the robe?
Yes.
Why, it's just ordinary homespun.
It changed my life. In time, it will change the world.
Good line there. I quite like this because, you know, Jesus said, when I'm with you, because I'm with you, you won't need a sword. But after I'm not with you, you'll need a sword. And so it's really cool to see this sort of rescue attempt. These guys taking up arms to rescue Demetrius. Because there's this idea that, you know, as a Christian, you're a weakling. You just take every negative thing that comes at you and you're just a pacifist. But that's not true. Jesus says to take a sword. Cool stunt there. I like that we're getting a bit of sword fight as well. It's cool. I miss that. Nice.
You let them take an imperial prisoner from the palace itself? I want the Roman traitor who's responsible. I want Tribune Gallio. Tear the city apart if you have to, but find him! Get out, all of you!
Wow, that's a great speech right there. I love how he was just in a frenzy.
Detail, march.
Okay, so they're harassing the family. Oh, he is here. I thought he would have gone back underground. Wow, they were all in there.
You're a physician.
There are limits to what science can achieve, Tribune.
Father in heaven, he was the bravest and best of thy servants. Why hast thou abandoned him?
Ah, Peter. He's gonna lay hands.
Demetrius.
When you hear the horns, that's when you know something epic just happened. He just walks out like a boss.
Sorcery. Doesn't your friend know the penalty for pretending to heal by such methods?
Sorcery.
Come, stare neat with us. No, thank you. I've had patients who've made astonishing recoveries, but I have never ascribed them to the magic of a sorcerer. Good night to you, Senator.
That's interesting that a so-called scientific person still acknowledged sorcery in that time. I mean, it's a movie, but that's just something that we aren't taught about. That the ancients, they understood that aspect of our existence, that there's a spiritual side. Science is about understanding the physical world around you. Science cannot explain the intangible world around you. So even these civilizations, they acknowledge the spiritual. We don't. That's pretty fast, man. That's really cool. Really cool shot there of the horses, just breakneck speed. Yeah, how do they do those shots? I mean, even if the camera's half buried, there's still a risk the horse could hit it.
Get him to Peter. Goodbye, friend.
Goodbye, friend.
Friend. It's friend. It's no longer master and servant. It's friend. Whoa!
As you know, there exists today in our empire a secret party of seditionists who call themselves Christians. They have enlisted in their ranks the riffraff of the plebeian class, as well as slaves. We remember Spartacus.
Oh, Spartacus. That's a flashy robe, by the way. A flashy cape. He's still got the robe.
Isn't it a fact that you call this Jesus a king?
But his kingdom is not of this world.
Not of this world.
And this, sire, was the greatest mistake ever made by Rome.
And perhaps the emperor himself makes mistakes.
It is I who am on trial here. Not you.
Wow.
You have heard him. He stands convicted out of his own mouth. What is your pleasure?
Death.
Death.
That's the physician.
You're not on trial. There's no evidence against you.
Then if it please you, sire, I'll provide evidence. I have no wish to live another hour in an empire ruled by you.
Whoa.
Once the Caesars of Rome were noble, but in you noble blood has turned to poison.
Notice she's holding the robe.
I want to go with my husband into his kingdom.
Go! Both of you! Into your kingdom!
She's holding the robe and she spoke truth to power, boldly. And interest, look at that soldier's crying as well. That's cool. Wow, they got executed. That was epic. Okay people, and that was The Robe. I enjoyed this one. It's no Ben Hur or the 10 Commandments, but it's in that ballpark. Now my appreciation for the film didn't come from an objective place. It was more from a place of sentiment. Number one, because of the scene sampled by Killer Priest, and I just downright miss these kinds of movies. They're definitely of a time, and the jury's out as to whether the epic feel that they resonate can be replicated today. Now I found out that Richard Burton didn't like the film or his performance in it, and it kind of shows. I think he put in a serviceable performance, and there were some nice moments.
Perhaps there'll be amusement in being a man of honor. Goodbye, friend.
But for the most part, I can tell he just did his job. Now I'm not very familiar with Victor Mature's work. I remember seeing him in stuff when I was a kid, but I couldn't say what films. Whenever I tried to think back, I always see him as a pirate with an earring. Did he play a lot of pirate roles? Did he play Sinbad? But my most memorable moment of him in the film is when he denounced his servitude to Marcellus. That was a very powerful and intense moment. So Jean Simmons didn't stand out much for me, but I think that's just because of the role. She was there as a love interest, and that's fine. I guess the character's courage at the end was a standout moment, and that's at the end of the film. And the end of the film is what the audience remembers the most. Or at least they should. It was also fun to see actors from other films that I've reacted to on the channel, like Torrin Thatcher from Witness for the Prosecution, and Percy Helton from The Setup. I also enjoyed the performance from the actor who played Peter, Michael Rennie, whose other work I'm not very familiar with. Now despite its weaknesses, the film still had that epic feel to it. The visual style was captivating and I loved seeing that production value all there on the screen. I love seeing the hundreds of extras, the animals and the various props right there in the frame. Not to mention the large indoor sets and the array of costumes. The music was great, it was epic and memorable, and I just know at some point when I'm at home doing chores, I'm going to be humming it. Now the main thing I liked about the film was the way they handled the Christ storyline. I like the fact that the main story, Marcellus' story, is adjacent to the Christ story. Even though Marcellus' story is the A story, the film is actually driven by the B story, the Christ story. So most of us may have seen Ben Hur first, but that film came later, and so it owes its visual style and narrative development to The Robe. It was also interesting to learn that this was the first film shot in CinemaScope. Simply put, this was to do with the aspect ratio, meaning the size of the image on the screen. CinemaScope doubled the size of the image, allowing for more production value to be on the screen, which made things look and feel bigger and better. Now the development of CinemaScope was a response to the emergence of television, which was stealing audiences away from the cinema. The studios needed to give people a reason to leave the house, to give them a visual spectacle that television couldn't. So it was 20th Century Fox who took the plunge and invested in the development of the technology. And boom, that's how we get The Robe. So for all its flaws, this film was the first of its kind, and was part of a major innovation that's changed filmmaking ever since. So let me know what you think of The Robe. Are you thinking, why did he react to this? Who cares about this film? Or do you love this film? Also, let me know what it was like when the film came out. Was it a big deal? Did it go unnoticed? What do you think of Richard Burton's performance in it? What do you think of Richard Burton as an actor? Let me know all that in the comments. I just want to say a big thank you to all the viewers, whether you're new to the channel or you've been here for a while. And if you did get any value from this video, hit the like button, subscribe and share. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Merry Christmas.
Who are you?
My name is Judas.